Hi folks, first of all then, three different types of taps we get. First one over to the left is a tapered tap for gradual taper. The one in the middle is a plug tap for intermediate, and over on the right there is a bottoming tap. So the difference between these is the bottoming tap hasn't got a pointy edge, and the taper at the end starts off with 1 to 2 threads, so it's a little bit more difficult to get started, but because it's a bottoming tap, it's flat at the top, so you can get all the way down to the bottom of a blind hole if it's a no through hole. The second one then, the plug tap, is got an intermediate taper, so the taper starts at the top there. Look, you can see until it gets to its full width, the tapers out between 3 and 5 of the first threads there, whereas the bottom one, if I put that, the left one I should say, if I put them together, you can see clearly that the first one has got a much tighter taper on there, and that's between 7 and 10 threads, so it's a lot easier to start off a thread with the gradual taper, the taper tap, than it is. You can see it clearly there, look, at the top of the tap there. So it's easier, it's more self-aligning than the other ones. Okay, they are high carbon steel, so you do have to, when you're winding it in, we do have to just give it a couple of turns in there to get a bite on it, and then roll it back out. So I've got that one on there. I've noticed with the kit that you get with the inserts for the fuel injection bolt, these do come in two different sizes. I've found there's a 20mm one and a 40mm one. So the choices are then, we can either put two coils in, the first one with it facing upwards, which is actually the wrong way round, and then the second one with it, the snap off part, facing downwards, which is actually the proper way to put it down. But it does give you two lengths of the coil, which is actually 2/3 of the length of this 20mm insert there. Okay, so that I went with the helicoils when I did my head, but having, you know, I did order the inserts as well as, you know, every set of helicoils that you could get online. To be honest, I bought everything, and all the washers. So I've got one off a Mercedes Sprinter, which is, you know, the normal size, quite narrow. Then one off the Chrysler Voyager, which is just about twice as thick, if you can see that there. And then I went up one more because I did have to just clean the surface of my injector port, because there was some wear on it. So I did actually buy one which is a thicker, will that focus in? So a thicker one, even more than the Chrysler one, and that was off Renault Traffic. If that'll focus in, yeah, okay. Will it focus in? It's really difficult doing it with one hand, so there we go. Well, let's try and grab them all three together then. So the top one's a Mercedes Sprinter, the second one I believe was the Chrysler Voyager, and the third one is the Renault Traffic. And then just in case, I made one on the lathe, which is even thicker still, which I never needed. So that was good. If you do need to get one of the helicoils out, if you know if something goes wrong, if it snaps off too quickly or snags in there and, you know, the end snaps, which this one did, you can just grab it with, you know, a scribe, prise it out, and then grab it with pliers and unravel it, and it'll come out easily. If you get one of the inserts stuck, I think the best way to remove that would be a bolt extractor. So as we tighten this in, because it's left-handed thread, as we tighten that in, it actually tightens up on the extractor and removes it as this gets tighter inside it. So you know, if you do have any trouble with it, that's an easy way out for that. Okay, so I'm going to send, like I did with my Sprinter before I rebuilt my engine, I'm going to send one in upside down and one in the right way up. When they meet together and we do the snap-offs, the actual thread does match. But you know, having looking at these inserts, I do actually like the look of the insert. Or you can do what people are saying online, and you can do none of these things and just buy the 7mm upgraded bolt, which will cut its own thread in the aluminium, making sure, you know, you tighten it in and bring it back, and tighten it in and then bring it back to snap the burr off while you're in there, while it's cutting the thread. I'd recommend you use a tap wrench and not the tool they give with you. I'd use the small tap wrench, the number 1, instead of the you know, the bigger one for the M12 bolt. We don't want to put too much force on this and end up snapping the tap, because they are high carbon, which makes it very brittle. If we snap the tap off inside, then it's game over. Okay, so this is like I say, this is a tapered tap. Well, it's actually a plug tap, which is the one that they give you the intermediate. So it doesn't start cutting until you're about 3 to 5 threads in, which allows you to centre it and make sure that you're not on the skew-whiff. Okie dokie, you will notice that on your spiral tap that comes with the kit. The spiral tap is to make sure that all the burrs come outwards, and the tapered taps actually the burrs go downwards. Okay, so this is a bottoming tap, you'll notice, because of the flat edge on the top instead of the tapered pointy edge, which is a straight through tap, and this is a bottoming tap. So if we're in a blind hole, okay, we can tap all the way down to the bottom.